Hey guys, what's up? It's JaCorn.
And Xavier Knight.
And this is our podcast about how reviews should work.
Our weekly podcast. It could be on daily, monthly, whenever
Yearly.
Yearly, every decade, whenever we feel like uploading it. But I'm pretty sure YouTube is not going to be around in a decade. But, alright, so...
YouTube Chrome.
Yeah. No, YouTube, Facebook. YouFace. Something like that.
U-Book.
Yeah.
Actually, that might be a thing.
Let's trade it. Let's trademark it before they get it. No, okay. So our podcast today is how to review games. Now, Boogie 2988. I knew there was like a number.
Why do I know
that? But he uploaded videos, Francis, and he talked about basically IGN and Polygon, how they, like, I don't follow Polygon, so I don't really know, but in his description he had IGN and Polygon. But, you know, he was doing the Francis the gimmick that I like. For most of the time I like Francis gimmick. But, he had some very good points. Now, we wanted to do our take on it. You know, it's been done numerous times. Numerous YouTubers have said it, but we haven't said it yet. So let's jump right into this this crazy water of reviews. So how should you review something? Because IGN did a review. This is about a year ago, and for most part, I don't care about IGN's reviews. Like, I don't disagree and I don't agree. When I look at reviews, I just want to see gameplay and if I'm going to enjoy it. But IGN did a review of Pokemon Omega Sapphire and
Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Yeah.
I know it's weird. I don't know why Ruby is Omega, because Omega comes last.
But, you know, they took away 2 points for too much water.
Yeah, what was it? 7.8, too much water. You all know the meme.
Like, yeah, and it's... like I said, I don't disagree with people's reviews. I don't agree with people's reviews. I just, like I said, watch for gameplay. But this one really stuck out to me because I know a lot of people don't like IGN for how they review things, which is fine, you know. But taking away 2 points for a game that's remade, and
especially when they gave the first ones, Ruby and Sapphire, they gave those like solid 9s.
But it's like,
and then they said it generally improved everything. Yeah, it says they improved everything, but they still gave a lower score.
So it's like, why would you take away so many points for something so stupid? And you have another example of Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah. Last year I was looking up reviews for Xenoblade Chronicles because I was like, well, they've got a new one coming out, and I want to play the first one.
Which is fair, you know, you want to get into the lore of it.
And so I come across IGN's, and they're like, 9 out of 10. It is almost flawless, except for one thing. It's on the Wii. And they come out and say, hey, it's on the Wii, it's running on an inferior system, that's why we're going to take a point off.
And I think, and how both these reviews got out there without anybody checking it is beyond me, because that is just complete bullshit. And it's like, you're going to take points away for stuff like that. Too much water. Well, that's part of the fucking game, okay? And for being on a console, that's not even a fucking thing to take a point away. I'm sorry, I get pissed. And like I said, I don't care about reviews, but when they're really dumb and they're nitpicky, like, you know they couldn't find anything wrong with these games. And I'm not saying that they deserve a 9 or deserve a 10 out of 10, but
when the only thing you can find wrong is something that is a gameplay mechanic that was in the original, or the fact that it's on the wrong system, you might be stretching it a bit.
Here's another game that really pissed me off. GTA 5 got, you know, a 10 out of 10. You know, in my mind, no game deserves a 10 out of 10. because there's always something that probably closest thing that I'd say is like 9.5 or something. And I'm sorry we're gonna look off topic for talking about, but we'll get back to that
eventually.
But the kicker was this game got a 10 out of 10. Now it was missing one element. It was missing the online mode, which came 2 weeks later, I believe. The online mode was absolutely shit. Now this game that's 10 out of 10, and it has another feature, didn't even get reviewed. And
well, to be fair, one company is like, back when GoldenEye for the N64 came out, they reviewed the story mode, and they're like, yeah, nobody's going to want to play it for the multiplayer mode, and we don't even have extra controllers, so we're not even going to pay attention to that.
That's wrong, too.
So they literally
at least they're honest. They're saying we don't have extra controllers, so...
They literally reviewed the game on story mode alone, which is not GoldenEye's strong point, I guess. Like, it's the multiplayer. It revolutionized first-person shooters.
What it is today, yeah.
I mean, today is nothing special, but back then.
Yeah, back then it was something. But now getting back to topic. Now, I'm gonna play on both sides here. I know, and I keep using IGN, but it's all big game companies. I mean, even YouTubers in general, they want to get the review copy early so that they can play it before everybody else, and you'll get that review out there so they can start getting that revenue. But and they don't want to be completely honest, because if they're completely honest, it's going to hurt somebody. It's going to hurt the publisher who made the game and go, well, he gave us a lower score, and that kind of affected our sales. So maybe we'll push him off to the side, and we'll get to the other guy who goes, oh yeah, well, I'll say all nice things for you. Oh yeah, I'll give you that, that one up.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with pre-release reviews. That's more or less just buying your way through.
No.
Like, I mean, you can release a game and then have them reviewed on launch day, and they'll probably still give it the same score.
Not necessarily. No, I'm not talking about score-wise. I'm talking about when games get higher scores than what they should have got, like the Call of Duty games, they got pretty high scores. I mean, they're not bad, but they're not like 9s and 10s, or not 9s and 10s, but like 8s and 10s. Sometimes they should be like 6s. Like, I think Ghost should have been definitely a 6. I don't remember what the score was for it. But
it was Dogma 10.
But it was a high score, which I thought Ghost was actually shit. One of the worst Call of Duty games.
Miles.
But yeah.
But anyway, what I'm saying is that sending out a review copy a week in advance, I don't think it hurts them in any way, because they can send them out to whoever they want. So knowing that they can send them out to people who will give them good reviews regardless. So I believe Shadow of Mordor did that. They sent out copies to specific people who they knew would give them good reviews. But I mean, anyway, like, I don't think sending out an advance copy is that. Sending out an advance copy is probably what should be done. Because, when a game says, we're not going to send out one, it's generally going to be bad. The two examples I can think of off the top of my head would be Sonic Boom and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. So, there's that.
No, yeah, and I agree with you, but what I'm getting at is, these guys want get the game early, so that they can put their video up.
Oh, okay, so you're just saying the websites themselves
are giving it a higher score than what it really is, because if they start saying...
Okay, so they're just trying to appease the developers. Okay, you see how I've taken this from the opposite angle, going, well, the developers have the right to send it out.
Yeah, no, I get your point, too.
Yeah, no, I don't think that reviewers should give games higher scores than what they deserve, solely so they can get to review the next game. And I don't even understand why they get paid that way. That doesn't even make sense.
And that's the thing that I see both sides. I can see why IGN does, and it's not just IGN. It's I keep saying that, but that's the one I keep thinking of. But I can see why they do that, and I try. But you know, because I noticed that they don't really appeal to Nintendo. When Nintendo comes out, they find something to nitpick. You know, it's
That's because I don't think Nintendo pays them. I think
Yeah,
Nintendo
yeah.
just sends them the game like, here you go.
here you go. Here's the game. Here you can take it.
We don't need your review. We know it's good.
But it's well, and then I'll get into how we do games, because I don't think the number system works anymore. The 1 out of 5, or the 5 out of 5, and the 10 out of 10, and 3 stars out of 5. You know, like those. I don't think those justify the game. I think pricing justifies, because you're not saying the game's bad. You're not saying the game's good. You do say, you know, in our opinion, we would justify it out of, we would rather pay $40 for this game new than pay upfront $60. And,
Yeah.
And I know some people have a problem with that too, because they're like, well, don't justify how much your game costs. But in reality, what would you want to pay for this game?
I think my personal justification is whether I would buy it new, used, or just rent it, or not get it at all.
And that's true.
I think those are my 4 tiers.
And those are good too. And we might even do both of those when we review separate games, so we could have
Yeah.
two reviews. I like both of those because they're not generic. Plus, taken from Jeremy Johns.
Actually, I think somebody does the buy it new, rent it, or
Yeah, I know.
somebody does that. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, I don't
I think
remember.
it's on Normal Boots, but I'm not sure.
But yeah.
If anybody knows, please tell us.
But Jeremy Johns, I think he's a movie reviewer, and he doesn't do actual numbers or pricing. He goes by this movie is deserves to be on Blu-ray. You'll get Blu-ray, or this is a movie that you won't remember in 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Oh, already forgot. You know, something like that. So those are kind of cool ways too, because you're not coming out and saying
It's bad or good.
you're just
And
saying,
then you're not giving it an arbitrary number.
yeah, and I think that's where a lot of these games kind of, you know, and also another thing going back, when you review a game, depending on what game, like if I'm trying to think of some games that are like Dragon's Quest. That's a series, right?
Yeah.
But like, you should know something about Dragon's Quest. Don't put somebody who knows absolutely nothing, because that's another one that things get dinged, and it's like, well, this has been part of the series the whole time. And it's like, do you know anything about this game?
I mean, I understand why they would have a new person go into it as a fresh take. Like, if somebody hasn't played like a Dynasty Warriors game, they're more apt to review it more positively because they don't know that it is probably just copy pasted from the last Dynasty Warriors. But I think they should have like a seasoned player and then a new player.
They should put a couple reviews up, a couple different people from their office.
I mean, I know that would take more time and everything, but
you get paid to play games. You should.
Yeah, and then your site will be more reputable because it's not just one guy going, yep, play this for 10 minutes, I'm qualified to review this series. I'm qualified to review this Final Fantasy game. I know Final Fantasy is probably a really bad thing to say there because
that's not.
It's not plot heavy. Or, I mean, I guess it's plot heavy, but it's not plot consistent.
I wanted to say Zelda, but I'm like, well, you don't really need to know much about Zelda. It's not really.
Yeah, they kind of isolate themselves. Let's see, what? Like Halo. You wouldn't send somebody who's never played Halo 1 or 2 in to do a review for, like, Halo 3.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make any sense.
But, so yeah, that's a little bit of what we think of how reviews. But, yeah, send us what you guys think. If
How do you guys rate games?
you rate it on fun, Because another thing too, I was gonna get at, I completely forgot. Sorry, is every game's gonna start with glitches. It's just how the gaming industry is now. Now, depending on what kind of glitches they are, if they're game-breaking glitches, that's shit. But if they're just minor glitches,
like clipping through the floor. No, I guess clipping through the floor would probably be that thing. Maybe just kind of sinking through the floor, like you get like a foot down.
Yeah, maybe your foot is you're walking.
Like they don't have the collisions properly put in, but you're still there. It's just you're.
Yeah, but I mean those aren't like. Yeah, those are annoying, but they're not like.
They're aesthetic, but they're not game breaking.
But do you rate it on if the game's completely glitch free, which I doubt is ever going to happen again, unless Fallout 4 changes it.
I don't know. Nintendo games come out pretty.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if we take Nintendo out of the equation, then yeah, you're probably right. A lot of games come out with glitches that usually get patched in the first couple days.
Which I think a lot of the companies, publishers know about it, and they're already getting as the game's coming out. But yeah, so leave us your comment below, and if you have topics that you want us to talk about that we know, because we're not going to talk about topics that we have no idea, because that's like reviewing. If you
next time on nuclear physiology.
Yeah. So and we do anything. We'll do games. Culture and singing, whatever.
What?
But take us out before I hurt myself.
And we out.